students are being put in classrooms that they've already passed. Why are you having to repeat and retake a class that you received a C, a B, an A in, and not be transferred out for 4 weeks because we're still trying to figure out the master schedule?
The slave master took Tom and dressed him well and fed him well and even gave him a little education, Gave him a long coat and a top hat and made all the other slaves look up to him. Then he used Tom to control them.
Salazar in! Out! Salazar in! Out! Salazar in! Out! Salazar in! Out!
Just as the slave master in that day used Tom, the house Negro, to keep the field Negroes in check, the same old slave master today has Negroes who are nothing but modern Uncle Toms, 20th century Uncle Toms, to keep you and me in check, keep us under control, keep us passive and peaceful.
Unfortunately, this administration, instead of working with educators to provide and bring up test scores and to provide a quality education, the administration decided to use strong-arm tactics to intimidate, repress, and harass the teachers here at Jordan High School.
The autobiography of Malcolm X is a text been approved by LAUSD. It's widely used throughout school districts throughout the nation, including in other countries. It's a text that many people, particularly people of color, feel has been crucial, has played a vital role in their own development as more socially conscious people. And when I use this text in my class, I use a 3-page excerpt of this book in my class. The administrator that came and observed me and evaluated me wrote in his evaluation that I was brainwashing students and that I was forcing extremist views on him. What they told me was, well, we can't point to anything that happened in the classroom. What we can point to is that a student club that you sponsor spells words similar to the way that you spell words. And that was the evidence they used of my brainwashing students. I asked them to rescind that evaluation. It was never done. That continues to be in my personnel file, even though they themselves admit that they cannot point to when and how it was that it took place, that I was allegedly brainwashing students. And so to me, this just highlights some of the issues that happen at the school, where a text that is approved by LAUSD, teachers who are using them in order to, create a culturally relevant and culturally responsive curriculum that students can identify with and use to transform, to understand the conditions that are existing in their communities, and use that knowledge to transform those conditions. Teachers that are doing this were getting not only harassed by administration, intimidated by administration, but specifically in my case, being threatened with termination. And at this point, it's not even a threat. The principal has reiterated that he is not renewing my contract. And because of my status, a non-renewal of contract equals I've been fired from the district.
At our school, there's something to be said about teachers who show up every day in class and put in time before school, after school, on the weekends, have conferences with parents, with calls, and still try to navigate this pressure that's put on of, you got to raise your test scores, you got to get them to teach better, you got to get them to read better, you got to get them to learn better. And when it comes down to the last thing you would expect is to be reprimanded and constantly ridiculed, to have your classroom interrupted for 45 minutes at a time when you're trying to engage the students on some issues that's bigger than just what's going on in the community, but how that relates to what's going on globally. It becomes the need for educators everywhere to say, you know what? If the school will not only not support us, but is going to oppose us and the changes and transformations that are necessary to provide the education our families, our students deserve. And I will not accept any less from my students than I would want for my own children. Then at that point, it comes time for us to step back and say, I resign. I will not be a part of that system until that system is willing to sit down with me.
And basically, me and my peers, and along with other people as well, we're here to protest and fight for Miss Salazar simply because she doesn't deserve what's being given to her. She's been fired for being too Afrocentric. I have asked the principal to define me Afrocentric, and he has not yet done it. I'm here with all my friends to fight for her because she's more than a teacher. She's a friend. She's been there when we have had personal family problems. She was there schoolwork. She has stayed after school and helped us so many times. And it's time for us to pay her back. We've been through struggles and she's been there to support us, and now we're here and we're here to fight back. And she won't leave because we're here to support her.
That's right, that's right.
The same strategy that was used in those days is used today by the same white man. He take a Negro, so-called Negro, and make him prominent. And then he becomes a spokesman for Negro and a Negro leader while you left your mind in Africa. This modern house Negro loves his master. He identified himself with his master more than his master identified with himself.